First off, one of my favorite things about this kind of movie is when it can get you to think, what would I do in that situation? So have you thought about that much at all since doing it?
No, but I thought one of the great things about the movie was that, like you say, sometimes you watch movies and you go, oh, just walk away, just get out, but it's so cleverly written and crafted that you can understand why he couldn't just walk away or get out. So that element of frustration was taken out of it, and that worked for me.
Did you guys get to talk to anyone who might have gone through something similar? Because it seems like it seems like it could happen, especially like people in your position who are in the public eye. It could happen to anyone.
Yeah, I think it does happen. But I've been very lucky. My whole experience of mostly Game of Thrones fans have been that they're courteous and well-mannered and pleasant and respectful, and I appreciate that.
Have you had any particularly memorable fan encounters, either because it really moved you or because maybe it was a little over the top?
One, which I've talked about before, which was a woman ran towards me with her hand at my crotch area, and I was like, what are you doing? She said, I just want to check there's something there. But she didn't actually make contact, and that's about the scariest. It's not up there with Robert and Sandy.
No, but that's still a very reasonable concern.
Yeah. But no, they're nice people, by and large.
So can you tell me a little bit about reading the script for the first time?
Well, the truth is that someone else was in place to play Sandy, and they dropped out, so it was all very quick. I think I got it about a week and a half before we started principal photography. But because the script was so good, and because Michael was so accomplished, and because Stephen Graham was such a brilliant actor, it wasn't hard. Everything that I needed was there. I didn't have to go and shoplift or teach or be an art critic to get it. The script is so...
Are you big into rehearsal? Did it throw you off at all, the thought of having to jump into a movie that quickly?
No, you don't. By and large, you don't normally get rehearsals for movies or TV. So no, that's just the process. But we did talk about it a bit, and Stephen and I would talk about scenes a bit. But he brings so much more. I mean, the script's brilliant to begin with, and then Stephen just brings this extra exciting kind of enhancement to it. It doesn't detract from it, it doesn't take away from it, but it adds to it, and it just, he had this great lack of spatial awareness, so that he would kind of hold you longer than he had to, or be closer than you felt he should be, which all helped with it,
Clearly what he's doing is very wrong, but at the same time he also gave off a warm quality
the pathos. Yeah, but I think that's what's so brilliant about Stephen and Michael. They decided they didn't want it to be a sort of caricature psychopath. And so, again, I think one of the strengths of the film is that your allegiance diverges from one to the other, depending on the scene or depending how they're behaving. So it isn't just that black and white. Sometimes you really feel for Stephen's character, and sometimes you really feel for Sandy. But I think what's brilliant is that they're equally lonely and equally unhappy, but just in different situations. One has got everything going for them, the other one has nothing. But it doesn't change the fact that they're both unhappy now.
I did find myself at some points trying to reason with the situation and think, maybe they could be friends, maybe they could be good for each other, but then all of a sudden he would take that one step too far yet again, and I'm like,
but
wow,
also
no.
he's kind of, when Sandy says to him, this is your idea of friendship, and he just won't see that. He just goes no, you asked me, I didn't. And then you go, oh my God, I'm not dealing with somebody coherent here. So again, that's one of the reasons that he has to stick with it until there's a resolve. Because he's not dealing with somebody who's just on a level playing field.
What's your collaboration with Stephen like? Can you guys just turn it off when the cameras stop rolling, or do you have to be? Can you not be buddy-buddy?
No. There's no method. He's a brilliant actor, but a brilliant human being as well, and we had lots of laughs. We worked hard, but he taught me so much.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? I love hearing about how, when two different actors come together and how they adjust to each other's processes.
I've been a fan of his for years, and loved his work and loved his truth. And anything I've ever seen him do, he's totally believable, and he just brings this frisson of you're not 100% sure what he's going to do, which I suppose you have a choice of being annoyed by that or kind of embracing it, and I went for it, and it paid dividends. I think I would be more theatre based and more textually sacred about it, and that's, whereas he would just drop the odd thing in that would completely change the scene but not detract from it. So a very responsible kind of creativity, I suppose.
And how about working with Michael? Because he's obviously a very accomplished short film director, but first feature, so what was it about him that made you think this guy's the real deal?
Well,
besides maybe the Oscar nomination?
Well, no, that all happened after.
Oh,
to be
wow.
honest, we had already started shooting, but there was no whiff of inexperience about him at all.
He was nominated this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a meteoric year for him. I mean, he was here last year with his short, and now he's here with his first feature. But you didn't get you didn't at any time think this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He just always knew what he wanted. He was always open to new things that came along, like setting up one scene, he would see something that he liked and would go for that. Just very accomplished. The producers were right behind him. A great cast and crew. So.
And what kind of actor's director is he? Is the kind of person that likes to give you notes in between takes?
I can't remember. To be brutally honest, I can't remember. I don't remember anything that he did that I went, what? No, he's just great. He's just really good, and he cares about it. And I think it's hard to believe it was a 4-week shoot.
4-week shoot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of locations for a 4-week shoot.
Yeah, and he just, again, the cast and crew just worked so hard. But all our other actors, and Lara was, exquisite, and Tara was brilliant as her daughter, and Stuart Gray, and Ian McElhinney, who I work with so much. Asher Ali, just a really stellar cast for such a low-budget movie.
Now I've got a little game for you.
Okay.
It's a movie version of Would You Rather.
Okay.
So, would you rather work with a director who gives too many notes or not enough?
Wow.
They're tough. You really got to think about
Not
some
enough.
of them. Not enough?
I would rather work with somebody who didn't even know, because I would police myself quite a lot and take responsibility myself. So I prefer that to someone who was just, shut up.
Would you rather watch your least favorite performance over and over or never get to see your best?
Never get to see my best.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like watching your performances?
No, I don't think anyone does. Not mine. I mean, hopefully people like watching me. It's weird. I think the first time you watch something, sometimes it's a bit like a photograph, so it's long enough ago, or you're different enough looking to not take it so personally, but other times you're going, Jesus, is that how, it's like that Larson cartoon with the two ostriches running along, and one goes, is that how I look? So a lot of acting is about lack of self-awareness, just to immerse yourself, so then when you're suddenly made aware of yourself 40 foot high on the screen, it can be a bit intestine clenching for you, but you get over it.
Would you rather do motion capture or wear a ton of prosthetics?
Ton of prosthetics.
Have you ever done it before?
I've worn prosthetics before, yeah.
And how about motion capture? Have you ever
Never
given it a shot?
done it, no.
What is it about that makes you rather do prosthetics?
I think it's the first step to getting rid of actors, and everything's going to be animated.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with things like, let's say, Planet of the Apes, like what Andy Serkis is doing?
Well, I think he's a special. Well, I think he's a brilliant actor besides that, but I think that's become his specialty. And I don't know.
I almost want to see you rise to the occasion now and prove yourself wrong.
Wow. I don't know. It's the idea of having little things all over you. You'd have to sit up straight and hold your gut in all day. No.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very appealing.
No.
Would you rather play the hero or the villain?
No preference. Oh, I have to answer.
I guess no preference, though, is pretty fair.
No. I think most people like villains are fun because there's a liberation about being that rude or that vile or that horrible, which you don't have in real life. So villain, I suppose.
Understandable. Would you rather be able to watch dailies or have to wait till the final cut?
Oh, I never watch dailies.
Really?
So I'd wait for the final cut. Yeah.
Is it rare that a director wants you to watch dailies?
Yeah, I don't think in my whole 30 years of working I've ever watched a daily. No.
Would you rather play a character based on a pre-existing one or one created from scratch?
Scratch. I think I've only played one character who's based on a real person, or who was a real, still living person. And so it's a huge responsibility not to be caricature, not to be like an impersonator, but to do your own thing. So yeah, from scratch would be the preference.
And lastly, would you rather take a film on the festival circuit or be part of a big studio press tour?
Festival. Yeah, festival.
Do you have any advice for actors who might be experiencing their first film festival circuit? Things to do to make the most of the experience?
No. No, because this is my first experience.
Really?
Yeah, of a film festival. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, I'd have to digest it all, but it's been great fun.
Now, of course, I've got to squeeze in some Game of Thrones questions
Sure.
since we have many, many fans that read the site. Now that the books and the TV show are kind of diverging, is there anything you could tease about where Varys is heading in the next season?
No.
I didn't think so, but I was going to try.
Yeah, good try. No, no, but I think they're both. They, as you say, they diverge, but I think they're equally brilliant. But that's just the nature of adaptation, and we wouldn't be in our TV show without George R.R. But they're two different things now. The same kind of essence, but that's just the nature of adaptation. And I think David and Dan are just geniuses of how they've treated the source material.
At this point, are you all just perpetually worried about the fate of your characters?
No, I never was.
Because I am.
I know. Well, yeah, but that's one of the great things about the show. What made it different was killing Sean Bean in episode 9. That doesn't happen. I mean, I think it will from now on. But I've always been quite fatalistic and philosophical about it, and just when it finishes, it's been a great ride and I've enjoyed it.
One of my favorite things about the show is the balance between, the blood and the action, but also all the verbal sparring and the fighting in that sense, especially with your character. So I was wondering, did you have a favorite kind of argument type scene like that?
Well, I used to love the scenes with Aiden, Littlefinger. Again, they were adaptations. I don't think they were in the books originally. But everyone I've worked with, I loved the scene with Diana Rigg. Again, there was a bit of verbal sparring there. But that's kind of gone by now, and it's just me and Dinklage bitching. But I really don't work as hard as most of my friends on it because they have huge battle scenes and things. I don't.
You need the balance,
Cool.
though.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, Varys isn't part of a house, but what about for you in particular? If you lived in this realm, what house do you think you'd be part of?
Oh, I definitely think I'd be a Targaryen.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Well, I think that he's always thought them to be the true rulers, the true architects of that whole nation, and I think in the books and historically in the TV series, he advised against letting Tywin Lannister into the gates, and that when Tywin came in, then that was when the Mad King got killed. Mm-hmm. So, but I think he has a loyalty to the Targaryens, so I would have to say House Targaryen.
And how about you personally? If you were to sort yourself into a house?
I think they're all despicable. I don't know. I suppose the Starks, but before the fall, when they were still happy and together.
Yeah, I'd like to think that too.
Yeah.
Things have just gotten so crazy on that show that I'm like, I think I would just join the Night's Watch.
I know.
Screw it all, just go there.
Well, yeah, no, actually the Night's Watch as well would be an option, especially for a Catholic boy. There's something Jesuit about their existence that appeals to me. But no, I think the Starks were a great family until it all went arse over tit, as we say at home.